Our stormy pattern continues to roll on across central and eastern Kentucky. Another round of strong thunderstorms rumbling through the region now, and I'm tracking them just ahead.
It's a mess in parts of central and eastern Kentucky tonight. Strong winds have knocked down trees and even damaged some buildings.
WKYT investigates are Suboxone clinics turning into the next pill mills in Kentucky.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good evening to you. Tonight, another round of severe storms has left damage across parts of central and eastern Kentucky.
And here's one example. Stacy sent us this eyewitness picture of damage to a home in Magoffin County this afternoon. We'll have more on the damage in just a couple of minutes. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey, who has been tracking this all afternoon.
Yeah, thunderstorm waves across the southern part of Kentucky, leaving behind a lot of wind damage. And undoubtedly, we've had winds at times gusting greater than 70 miles per hour in a few localized areas. Look at the wind gust map, or at least the damaging wind reports that we've had so far today. That first line from I-65 all the way across parts of Madison, Rockcastle counties, Big Sandy Valley, Licking Valley into West Virginia. The next little round is right on top of south central Kentucky. A newly issued severe thunderstorm warning, replacing one that just expired at the top of the hour. This new warning, by the way, will go a little deeper into the evening for parts of Laurel County. That does include the downtown London area. Thunderstorm is not as strong as what we were tracking a little bit ago. It's losing some steam. Doesn't mean we can't get some localized wind damage. Haven't been seeing the widespread wind damage reports like what we were having a little earlier. Strongest part of this storm, again, moving back into Mount Vernon, Rockcastle County, and points to the south, just to the east now of the downtown sections of Somerset. Shopville, Piney Grove, over into sections of the Laurel County area, just to the north of London, East Bernstadt areas, and points west from there. We're going to see the strongest winds that will begin to move on into town. That little thunderstorm complex, by the way, does extend to the north into sections of Mount Vernon. Scattering of thunderstorms behind that. Nothing severe with that as of yet. Just a lot of heavy rain and a lot of noise. Northeastern Kentucky. General run-of-the-mill showers that moved across the Lexington Metro a little bit ago put everything in motion, and notice how we have just like what we had earlier today, guys. One game in town for a thunderstorm cluster across parts of southern Kentucky, and we'll continue to track that through the evening.
Chris, thank you. And storm damage reports continue to come into our newsroom tonight.
Rockcastle County appears to be one of the hardest hit areas, with trees falling across roads and near homes. Monique Blair continues our live First Alert Weather Team coverage.
Well, Sam and Amber, that afternoon storm blew through here just a few hours ago, and all the businesses here in Brodhead on West Main are still closed because most of them are still without power. Now, electricity is starting to trickle back on out here, but we have seen several KU employees out here working hard because we are told at one time power was out to the entire city. Now, as we took a drive this afternoon around Brodhead, we saw several trees down, several broken limbs, and debris scattered across many lawns. And now there is still quite a bit of work to be done to clean up the mess that storm left behind. Volunteer firefighters were out taking care of some of those problems, cleaning up tree limbs that lay across the roads and helping out homeowners that have debris scattered through their yards. Marilyn Mink lives just a few feet from where a power line was taken out after a large tree was uprooted by that storm.
The storm lasted for like 20 minutes. And it was wind was going every which way. It was blowing down trees and everything around here. But it uprooted this tree. It uprooted it bad. But it sounded awful. It would have scared you to death. It would have scared you to death.
Now, although several homes and businesses were without power and several trees were uprooted, we are told there was no significant structural damage as a result of that storm. It is raining pretty hard out here right now, as you might be able to see, so we will keep you updated on all the latest information. I'm reporting live out here in Rockcastle County. Monique Blair, WKYT.
Monique, thank you. A storm also knocked down many large trees in neighboring Lincoln County. One of them was blown down near a home. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell joins us live to show us the damage there. Jim?
Storms rolled through Lincoln County earlier, and we had another round just pass through just a few minutes ago, not causing any new damage here. But what we have here is one of those large trees that fell basically in front of the house. You can see how a few branches are right there just on the roof. Winds were coming through here around 60 to 70 miles per hour. Could have been higher in small areas. So we had a lot of wind rolling through here. So it was a very frightening situation for folks in this area.
It was the storm itself that
you
believe knocked you into the
I believe
ground.
it was the storm that knocked me to the ground, because I was sitting in the chair, and next thing I know, I was in the floor.
Wow.
And I said, what am I doing in the floor?
It was quite the setup today. We were talking about sunshine down here. Even since we've been here in the past couple of hours after the first storms passed through, sunshine. Had the cloud to the north, set up a perfect zone of formation for thunderstorms, and that's what we've been tracking here the past several hours. In Lincoln County, I'm WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Jim, thank you. Now, if you have any pictures of storm damage or flooding, email them to eyewitness@WKYT.com or use the hashtag KYWeather.
He had hoped to convince the governor to call a special legislative session, but instead, Casey County Clerk Casey Davis says the governor gave him an ultimatum: issue marriage licenses or resign from office. Davis is one of the county clerks around Kentucky who stopped issuing marriage licenses after the U.S. Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage. Sam Smith has a story.
I'm not going to issue marriage license in Casey County.
His stance after the hour-long meeting with the governor is the same as it was before the meeting. Casey County Clerk Casey Davis maintains that his conscience conflicts with same-sex marriage, so he won't issue licenses to any couple, despite the governor's ultimatum. Davis says the governor told him
to issue marriage license or resign.
Davis says he will not resign from his position as county clerk.
I was elected by the people, for the people. The democracy should take care of that. If the people that elected me don't like where this has taken me in my job, then the people that elected me should have the opportunity to unelect me.
Davis was hoping for a special session to be called to take the marriage license process out of clerks' hands. The governor says he will not call a special session on this topic, saying it would be too expensive for taxpayers. Davis will hold his ground.
Nature's law will supersede any law that man puts on a piece of paper. That's why I've taken the stand that I've taken. I don't believe that this lifestyle agrees with nature's law.
In Frankfort, Sam Smith, WKYT.
In a statement, Governor Beshear said he told Davis that he respects his personal beliefs, but he says that when elected, Davis took a constitutional oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution. We have more information about the history of special sessions in Kentucky. The Legislative Research Commission says there have been 50 special sessions called in Kentucky since 1940. There have been 9 special sessions called in the last 10 years. The longest single special session was in 1991. Lawmakers spent 29 extra days in Frankfort to deal with environmental issues and DUI laws. The LRC estimates a special session this year would cost taxpayers $63,000 a day.
Suboxone is a treatment drug to help people with opiate addictions. Doctors say it's highly effective if used correctly. But our investigative team found that law enforcement and some doctors in Kentucky worry Suboxone is being abused at a rate not seen since the OxyContin pill mills of years past. Miranda Combs has the story.
From the front of this Breathitt County building, there's not much to see. An interesting looking piece of property with a sign that paint has altered over time. The story we found was in back. We showed up on Tuesday morning, a day we knew Suboxone was being prescribed. We got there at 8:45. It opened at 9. There were dozens of people waiting, car tags from Owsley, Knott, Perry, and Breathitt County. At 9 on the dot, the doors opened and we watched 29 people file in. Another dozen or so would trickle in, so we went in too.
We saw at least 30 just this morning on one day. Is that normal?
Well, we only do clinics 2 days a week.
Dr. Pablo Merced is a family doctor and runs the St. John Newman's Medical Clinic. Police say he's been lawfully prescribing Suboxone for a little more than a year. In that time, police have responded to numerous calls to Merced's office. Dr. Merced says he prescribes Suboxone 2 days a week, including the day we showed up.
It just
thorn in our side. It's it's become a haven for activity that's not conducive to a good society in our community.
Why don't you come in?
Oh, well, thanks.
Dr. Merced led us through a full waiting room to his office.
So what do you want to know?
I want to know how it works. How do these clinics work? There's, a lot of people, police included, are upset because there's so many people outside in the mornings, and there have been altercations outside, even a shooting, I believe.
Yeah. Well, the shooting doesn't have anything to do with Suboxone. They have this domestic problem.
But do you like this happening at your physician's clinic?
This is not the clinic, it's outside. We can't help it.
It's on your property.
We cannot control what people do.
It's not our job to be a security guard for a doctor's office.
Chief Ken Spicer is dealing with a problem not unlike other cities and counties in Kentucky.
It's just becoming an epidemic.
The issue surrounds this, a treatment medication to help people stop their opiate addiction. The brand name is Suboxone, but it's really buprenorphine. It is a Schedule III narcotic, which is regulated and lawful to obtain with a prescription.
We had the pill mills when OxyContin was so popular. You'd have people coming from different states, different counties, get there an hour before the clinic opened, long lines, people selling out in the parking lots, and that's what we're seeing with Suboxone.
So it's being abused.
Being abused.
Dan Smoot with HIDA, high-intensity drug trafficking area, says Suboxone is not only sometimes abused by patients, but doctors as well. Doctors under federal regulation can only have 100 Suboxone patients. Although it can be covered by Medicaid, many patients pay cash. We're told by doctors that a patient may pay anywhere from $200 to $500 a month for Suboxone treatment, and the prescription can range from $200 to $400 a month depending on the dosage.
You can become a millionaire almost instantly. There's so much money in these pills.
Are we headed back to pill mills?
That's the concern, that the buprenorphine clinics are just becoming the pill mills of a few years ago.
But there's a difference, says Dr. Mark Jurish, president-elect of the Kentucky Society of Addiction Medicine. He says the medicine isn't as highly abusable as other opiates because of its chemical makeup.
It does a lot of people a lot of good. It just needs to be in hands of people who can manage this disease well.
Is it a red flag to you to see a line outside of a Suboxone clinic?
Yes. I would not expect to see that.
For his part, Dr. Merced follows regulations like any physician's office should. He has an active medical license since 1986 and no disciplinary action, according to the Kentucky Board of Medical Licensure. And he has not been charged with any crimes. The only complaint is concern from neighbors and police about the activity that has occurred outside his clinic.
Do you understand where people come from, though, where they say, it looks bad. Why are these people lined up in the mornings?
They don't, because they don't understand. They see them as drug addicts.
Judy K. Spencer used to be a drug addict. She says she's overdosed 8 times.
This is the only time I really wanted it to help,
She says Dr. Merced and Suboxone saved her.
If it wasn't made for this, I don't know what I would do. I would probably be dead.
So she lines up weekly to get a treatment drug meant to help, but even Dr. Merced admits can hurt.
Are all of the patients that are coming in here doing it the right way?
Hard to say. The only thing we can do is try to monitor them as closely as we can.
Jackson police say for the past 6 months, they've responded on average a couple of times a week to Dr. Merced's office. Dr. Merced is not the only doctor in town that prescribes Suboxone. There is another one, and police say they have also responded to calls there as well, guys.
So, Miranda, you looked at one county in particular for this story, but you found it's really happening in others?
Right. Dan Smoot with HIDA says in his region, it's the most talked about and most abused prescription drug right now.
All right, well, thanks for showing what's going on out there right now. Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks, Miranda.
Showers and thunderstorms continue to rumble across especially southern Kentucky. Potential is still there for some isolated severe weather. We'll track that and maybe some more storms for tonight and tomorrow just ahead.